Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Don Jo PDL 100 625. This is a piece of hardware that's been made for several decades. This is what would be considered a pocket door passage, is what it is. All that this is a combination unit that will be installed onto an 1 3/8 or an 1 3/4 thick door. Yeah. And is used to pull the door out. First, let's go over some dimensional properties, and then we'll go over what you would use it for. Overall height, about 2 3/4. Overall width, about 2 1/2. The unit is currently set to be about, 1 1/4 overall thickness. But as you loosen that screw here and here, it will allow those plates, forgive me, to separate out to accomplish installing it onto a thicker door, like 1 3/4. So what would you use this for, and why might you want it? Let's talk about that now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So this is a pocket door edge pull, and what you would end up using this for, flush pulls and edge pull, is that you want to pull the door out of the pocket, and once it's out of the pocket, you want to be able to slide it back into the pocket. The term pocket door has two very different meanings. In a residential setting, it means a door that will slide into the pocket, at least the way that it was said to me originally. It slides into a pocket, a preparation in the wall. You've got a wall that is 4 7/8 thick, or maybe 4 9/16, and you've got studs around that hollowed out area of the wall that are much thinner to allow the door to slide in. It will have overhead track. That's referred to as a pocket door. In a commercial setting, mostly in hospitals, but I've seen it in, well, first of all, I've seen it in a hotel application. Plus, if you look up the term Harmon, 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 or pocket door hinge, you're going to find a very different type of hardware for a different type of pocket. If you looked up Harmon hinge, you're going to find some really old drawings that clearly could be a commercial setting, could be a residential setting. This other way that a pocket door is, the term applied, is when, in your mind's eye, imagine you have a frame and you have a door, and it just swings. Think of, or if you have a door around, take a look at another door and open it to 90 degrees. You'll notice the door encroaches into the clear opening space of the frame. That's a result of where the vertical axis of pivoting, well, it would be my elbow, would be the barrel of the hinge. That's the vertical axis of pivoting. That's the point that doesn't change at all. Okay? A pocket door hinge, or a pocket door used in a commercial or hospital setting, is where that vertical axis of pivoting is moved over so that when the door opens, it gets completely out of encroaching into the clear space. And that door, when it opens to 90 degrees, resides within a pocket that's been built in the wall. So the wall has a recessed area behind which the door will then reside inside of. Why would you want that in a commercial setting? Well, think of a hospital. Lots of cart traffic going through. They want the doors out of the opening so that the cart traffic doesn't hit the butt end of the door. In a residential setting, you would want a pocket application because it's elegant in the sense that it really saves a lot of floor space. You could have a very unusual layout in a home, and a swinging door just won't work because the door will only open to 70 degrees. I lived in a house where I had a very small bathroom added, and very small space we were working with, a very small commode and a sink. Well, in order to get the door to swing, it would only go to about 70 degrees before it would hit the commode. Couldn't do a pocket door there because I was taking a space because I had plumbing close to that area, and I didn't have the depth to be able to take a door and move it, take double the door width at a minimum to get the door to come into a pocket. I had to swing a door. So you would do it to pick up floor space, really. And that's what this piece of equipment is for. Funny story about a pocket door. I had a client of mine doing some work in the Gold Coast of Chicago. The Gold Coast is just a neighborhood north of the John Hancock Building along Lakeshore Drive. It's notable because there's some very high-end residential that's in there. I supplied the client the pocket door frame, which is the studs, the track, all of the members you need to then build the wall over that for a pocket door frame, for a pocket door installation. He calls me the next day and says, Rich, there's something wrong with your pocket door frame. I says, what do you mean? Well, I built the wall yesterday, I slid the door into the pocket, and now I can't pull the door out. I says, okay, that's bad, because that's really bad, because the only way to service a pocket door, like the snubber or the stop in the back of the track or the track itself, that wall's got to come apart. That's a problem. Very valuable client. All clients are valuable. This client just happens to have ordered every other day, so lots of orders. I personally went down to the Gold Coast to see it. And we're standing there, me and the fellow, we're standing there looking at it. And he says, I just don't know what's going on. He says, the only thing that happened yesterday was that the trim carpenters were here and they put up this paneling. And I looked at the opening, and the paneling was beautiful. I says, so yesterday there was just drywall? He says, yeah, they put up all this paneling. And I noticed, I saw finish nails. I said, I won't say the client's name, a very nice gentleman. I says, how did they attach the paneling knowing that it was with a pneumatic nailer? He's like, yeah, they nailed it. I says, do you realize that they most likely shot nails, paneling here, shot nails through the paneling, through the drywall into the door? And he says, oh my goodness. Got a flashlight, looked down in there, and really couldn't tell. But when he was so angry. He pulled that paneling off, and it was obvious they had nailed lots of nails through the paneling, through the drywall, into the face of the door. And anyway, that's how that turned out. And that's only happened once in 30 years that I'm aware of. Maybe twice, actually, I think. So anyway, this is a passage function in the sense that it doesn't give you any sort of ability to have a hook come out and latch, or not latch, but to catch the strike in the jam. That's a privacy version of this. They make passage, where it's just flush pulls and an edge pull, and then a privacy, which is a flush pull with the turn. It will give you the ability to pull it out, but also a hook. It will give you a hook functionality to be able to grab a strike that would be in the jam. Very typical piece of equipment. This has been made for several decades. I don't know how far into the 20th century this has been made, but it's been made for a very long time. You could use separate pieces of equipment. You could use an edge pull. You can then add separately 2 flush pulls. This is nice because it's a combination unit, and the preparation's pretty simple. You just basically cut a notch into the edge of the door, and we'll go over that in a moment. This is going to include more hardware than you need. You only need 2 screws here. This hardware package will do a privacy version as well, because it'll be 2 screws here for a strike. And that pin that's there would be for a privacy as well, to accommodate a thicker door, because there are a couple of, when you throw the turn button out of privacy to throw that hook, there are 2 yokes that move, 2 bird's mouth sort of pieces of hammers, yoke or bird's mouth prepped hammers that will throw the hook out, but that's derived on the pin connecting the 2 bird's mouth preparations together. If you have a thicker door, you need a longer pin. This includes a longer pin for an 1 3/4 application. You have to be sure, if you're doing pocket door privacies, what the door thickness is, because many manufacturers send it out for 1 3/8. And if you've got an 1 3/4 thick door, you're not getting all the right parts. I have a major hotel chain on the West Coast that would routinely buy 70 at a time, and did that over a period of 3 years. And the first couple of times, they just ordered online, and
Hey, these don't work. Why? Well, the pin's not long enough. Okay, let's look at the order. Ah, I see. Yeah, 1 3/8 is what those are for. You need longer pins, and that's how that works. Some manufacturers include them, many do not. So if you are dealing with an 1 3/4 thick door, you're going to need to make sure that the hardware you get is going to handle it. Not to worry, though, when you have a passage, because it'll handle it. 625. That actually means three things. It means the hardware is made of solid brass. It means that it is in a bright chrome plated finish and would have a lacquer on it to protect the finish. This is polished chrome, 625 finish. This would be appropriate for any application, but most commonly in a bathroom application. This will come with installation instructions. These were, when Moses brought down the 10 Commandments, he also brought these Don Jo installation instructions. That's how old these are. This is probably from the mid-70s would be my guess. Doesn't matter. The hardware hasn't changed. Let's switch now to the screen view and let's take a closer look at all of the supporting documentation. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here is the hardware that we are looking at. Let's take a look at some photographs. There's the packaging, or I should say the label. That's what's in the box. Installation instructions, screw pack, and then the hardware itself. It's hard to photograph polished chrome and have the polished chrome come through. There's your integrated edge pull, the back side of the unit, top of the unit, your screw package. Okay, now extended description information is, first of all, you're going to be able to get your hands on this hardware and all of the common finishes. Your brasses, your bronze, your chromes, your nickels, satin polished, oil rubbed. Includes pins and screws for 1 3/4 door. That doesn't apply to a passage set. The size, made of brass, 625 polished chrome. 625 again means it's made of brass, and when you buy one, we'll ship you one. Let's go over these links that are here, just in order. Template. Okay, so I would call that a technical drawing of the hardware, just showing you what it looks like. Referring to all of the finishes: polished brass, antique brass, oil rub bronze, satin nickel, antique nickel, black, polished chrome, satin chrome, polished brass by polished chrome. That's a split finish. Very common. Yeah, well, split finishes are common, not as much for me personally as they used to be. Installation instructions. There's that document from when Ford was president. I don't know the age. I'm just being facetious. So, as I said earlier, it's just a notch. That's all you do. It looks like they're saying 2 5/16 there. I'm going to look at the actual document that's folded here, and I can tell you it says 2 5/16, so yes. 1 7/8 deep. Before you prep for this hardware, you might want to, if you're doing a new installation, I should say, you might want to take an audit of the other hardware in the space to make sure that you're installing this at a height that would be commiserate with everything. An auger bit. Everything shows you the age. Irwin has just recently discontinued all their auger bits. I'm sure he's using that with his brace as well, his Yankee brace. Right on. So you prep a notch. I was saying before, the height, check the other heights. And this simply is going to slip over that. And that screw that you'll install, and you'll loosen this screw first to get it down onto the door. You don't want to scratch the door or force it down. That's going to bite into wood because the dimension from the edge of the plate to where that screw is certainly less than 1 7/8 deep. If there is a strike plate, you'll need to prep for that. This is not a video on the privacy set, so we'll move on. All of this talks about 1 3/4, but also if you were to need to reverse the handing as well, you may need to do that by flipping these plates over. Meaning you might need to have the
emergency release on a particular side, and you can't just flip it over end for end. You have to actually reverse the plates. Anyway, this will discuss how to go about doing that. And there you go. Pretty simple. Make a notch in the door and you're off to the races. Product catalog, that's the next document. Let's just type in PDL 100, maybe dash 100. Yep, that's it. PDL dash 100 shows you the passage along with the 101, which is a privacy set. Other accessory hardware are included here. This is literally the accessory hardware section of the catalog. Builder's hardware will be in here. Remodelers, plates, door viewers, door guards, door chains. That's called an elbow catch. Handrail brackets. Hinge pins, window bolts. Okay, so does anyone know what these are for? I do. So a hinge pin, in your mind's eye, imagine your hinge on your door. It's got 3 or 4 screws in it. Could have more if it's a very big hinge. You remove one of those screws and you install this screw. Into the opposite hinge leaf, you drill a hole. The head of this screw is going to project into that hole when the door closes. The purpose of this is if you were to drive the pin out of the hinge, you could easily pull the door out of the frame. But when you have this security device sticking from the frame into the door or the door into the frame, you won't be able to do that. This is an old carpenter's way to handle that as well, is to drive a 16 penny double head nail, 16 penny, which is D, double head nail, into your jamb. That's what a 16 penny double head nail looks like. Drive that into your jamb, drill a hole in the frame or the door, the other side is what I'm trying to drive at, and that'll give you that same security feature. That's an old carpenter. Literally, he was old, and he had been a carpenter for many years. This old carpenter taught me that trick. Nice fellow. I'm sure he retired many, many, many years ago. Other accessory hardware are here. Let's see what else we have left. Drawing. Okay, that's just what we're dealing with here. And that brings us to a conclusion on this pocket door passage. There's a link below this video here to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Don Jo products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website. That's here. You can also look at the full-line catalog, and that catalog broken down into several subsections of that catalog, which is handy because the full-line catalog is a bit unwieldy. For instance, if you know the name Don Jo at all, you probably do for their latch protectors or their wraparound plates. That's probably how you know Don Jo. However, they make many other items. And the point of me saying that is if you just need to look at latch protectors, well, there's the subsection of the otherwise 120-page catalog. The point of showing you these other documents is to say, well, they make more than latch protectors and wraparound plates. They make pivots. They happen to make pocket door passage sets under accessory hardware. Strike plates. They do a great job when it comes to different types of strike plates, especially extended lip strike plates. Hinges as well. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So the name Don Jo, again, synonymous with those two product categories and other items as well. I would not hesitate to consider using Don Jo. They are a company that is pretty nimble on their feet. They're able to produce orders. I just needed, last week or the week before, I needed 350 privacy door latches. Hotel application, the good old-fashioned, well, back in the old days, it was a chain. Then it went to a door guard. It flipped over. Nowadays, we have a model that is both handicap compliant and approved for use on fire doors. And that's the PDL, or the privacy door latch, which has got the, if you've stayed in a hotel in the last 15 years or 10 years, you've seen one. You push on this end and it flips out, and it allows the door to open a little bit. I needed 350 of those and an oil rub finish, and I needed them shipped tomorrow, and not a problem at all. That was something they were able to do for us. The client literally called me the morning before and said, "You've saved me before, and I need to see if you can save me again." The year is 2021 and has been marked with the last 18 months of obviously the pandemic, which has resulted in, amongst many other things, severe supply chain problems. And Don Jo, so many people did not have this material. Whoever the client ordered that material from, or his supplier ordered it from, could not produce anything. Turns out that that design and that PDL, that privacy door latch, is extremely generic. And the Don Jo part number is 1606. Yes, it is. If you looked up 1606, you'll see what I'm talking about. Don Jo had plenty of them sitting there in stock in the right finish, so save the day. That's a pretty good way to sum up how they operate. You know, the one person that you speak to there, what I mean to say is when you call there, there's the one person that you end up speaking to, of which there's 2 or 3 people that you could end up speaking to. They can handle all the questions. Where's it at? How long? What's it cost? When? That kind of stuff. They do a good job with that material, and they keep it pretty simple. Any questions on the PDL 100 and the 625 finish or any other Don Jo product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.